Hi everyone, Jessica here from Paper Ink Stamp and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a haul video. So I've purchased quite a few different bits and pieces over the last week or two and I've waited for them all to arrive so I can show you them all in one go. So you can see I'm zoomed out a little more than usual and the first product that we're going to look at is I have bought a new craft mat. So this has been a really great craft mat. It's really great for filming videos because there's very little glare on here, but because this is a cutting mat, it has gotten quite messy. If I do any sort of paint splatters or do anything a little bit more messy, the mat doesn't sort of clean up as well. I do have a glass mat and it's this one here. This is the Kit & Caboodle glass mat. The reason why I don't really use it as much, because it's white, I find it makes my videos quite dark. So I just never really sort of liked how that turned out, so I never really used it, but I do kind of use it a little bit for my own personal crafting. When I signed up for the subscription of Die Cutting Essentials, the free gift with that particular subscription was a £50 craft stash voucher. So it came through and I finally decided what I wanted to spend that money on. So I did go over the £50 limit just a little bit. I ended up spending about £25 of my own money just with the extra items that I purchased. But the one thing that I did purchase was the Tim Holtz glass medium mat. This is the left-handed version. Obviously I'm left-handed, so we do have the sort of mixed media section. This white section is on the left-hand side rather than on the right-hand side. So I haven't actually gotten this out yet, so I'm really excited. I'm hoping it's not going to be too much glare. This is one of the mats that I find that a lot of crafters who create videos do use. I was ideally looking for a cutting mat that was black. I know Altenew do one, but I haven't found anyone who supplies it here in the UK. So I did decide to go for this one, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to create even sort of better videos for you guys. So let's go ahead and open this. So here is our non-stick mat. So it's obviously just on a piece of plastic at the moment, but you can obviously take that off and then that will fit really nicely onto this sort of white section underneath this glass, and this will be really great for creating like splatter backgrounds, dabbing on ink pads, spritzing them up and then popping your cardstock into them. So definitely be making use of that. And then we've got the actual mat itself. So we have got a couple of rubber corners. I'm guessing that's just for protection whilst travelling. So the first thing I am noticing already is within this white section you can see my umbrella. Let's just move that over slightly. You can kind of see the camera and the umbrella, but I'm hoping once I zoom in, as I would do for a normal video, hopefully that won't be sort of too bad. On the underside, you have got a bunch of these sort of non-slip dots. These are really great because with this one, it kept sliding around. So I just popped some blue tack on the back of it. It did kind of lift it up a little bit, but that was the only thing I could really do to kind of keep that in place. So let's just move that out the way. So I have just moved my light just back a little bit. I've had a little play sort of zooming in and out, and I think this is going to work really nicely, but obviously only time will tell when we actually start sort of creating videos. But I have to say already I am really thrilled with this. I love the size of it. I love that I'll be able to kind of see everything that I've got going on. There's not sort of tons of lines that I found with the Kit & Caboodle. There's just sort of lines and grids and things all over it. You've just got one set of grids here. You can line up sort of pretty much anywhere on the gridded section. I do really like that. So that is the glass mat. I'm sure we'll talk more about it in future videos, but I am really excited to sort of get crafting using this glass mat. But now let's move on to the next big sort of purchase that I got. Again, this is from the Craft Stash website. And I decided to purchase a new paper cutter, but this is a Guillotine. So you know from other videos, I do have my Tonic Studios paper trimmer. I'm of course going to still use this because I do still think it's a really great product, but I really wanted to get a bigger Guillotine. Sometimes I find with slightly cheaper papers, my paper trimmer does sort of rip the paper a little, especially when the blade is a little bit more blunt. And I really sort of like the idea of having a guillotine. I don't have to worry about changing the blade in it when it becomes dull. So I was looking at this one. This is the Crafter's Companion and the Tim Holtz guillotine. I think they're both exactly the same size, roughly the same price. The only thing that put me off about the Tim Holtz one is it had the really big handle on the end, whereas this one doesn't. It is only as big as the guillotine itself, so I did really like that. And the extended arm that comes out is already attached to the product. You don't have to sort of clip it onto the side. So the main features with this product is you've got a hardened stainless steel blade, an extendable measuring ruler. So the one thing that really did sort of push me towards getting this one is it has got a built-in scoreboard, and we will look at that in a second. It's perfect for 12x12 paper and cardstock. You've got an easy grip handle, and of course you've got then your finger safety guard protection as well. So this guillotine does feature a built-in scoreboard as well, so I don't have a separate score tool. I always just use the score blade that came with my Tonic Studio one, and again, absolutely fine as it is. I had no issues using it, but I did think it was really great that it was already integrated into here, so when I use my trimmer I can go from cutting to scoring. I'll be able to do the same thing here with this guillotine. So you have got your score tool, which is just housed at the top, and you do have your centimetre and inches. The scores are done in the inch increments, which is really great because I do tend to work in inches a lot more than centimetres these days. You do have a little tab here where you can pull out the extender arm, which will take it all the way to 13 inch, so it will take it past your 12x12, which I think is great as well. So that is on a little bit of a spring, just so you can push it down and it can go back into its house section. Then when you put it on the table, it has got a sturdy arm at the end, just to help support that ruler section. So let's go ahead and give this a test. So I've got a piece of A3 cardstock here. So this is the Hunky Dory Ink Me Super Size. This is 300 GSM, so a really thick cardstock. You can see I accidentally cut through it already. So let's go ahead and make a card base. So let's make a slimline card. So I'm going to cut this at 7 inch. So we've got to make sure the arm is all the way up so we can keep our cardstock level at the top. So hold the protection in. And I just think that cuts so easily. Then we're going to cut it to 8.5. And then we are going to score at 3.5. So 0 is going to be right on the edge of the blade. So we're going to just buddy that right up to the edge, right up to the top. And then I'm going to score at 3.5. So I am noticing already it's wobbling a little bit. So because it's got lines that go horizontally and vertically, or horizontally and vertically, I feel like it would be really easy to just go into another line. So I kind of wish, because there's no ruler markings going this way, to me it's a little bit pointless having them horizontal, so I wish they were just vertical, so I really could just know that I wasn't coming out of that groove. And it's just a tiny bit shaky. So I have to say, one of the big reasons why I decided to go for this one over the Tim Holtz, of course it was the handle, like I said, but was the fact that I could score on it. But I'm not sure. That side is just a tiny bit shorter, so that's okay. Maybe I will get to the point where I will probably still use the scoring function on my Tonics Studio, but in terms of the actual guillotine itself, I think that's worked absolutely fine. So the other two items that I purchased from the Craft Stash website is I picked up 2 more of the TriBlend Spectrum Noir markers that I didn't currently have. So there were 4 missing from the last haul that I did for these pens. The other 2 are still out of stock, and I think it was the coral, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the other colour was, but these 2 came back into stock. So we have got the burnt orange, which I'm really excited about, and we've got then the grey, ice grey shades as well. So the orange definitely was the one that I was after. just to add a little bit more variety to my oranges. So let's take these out of the packaging. Let's bring in the little swatch sheet that we created. So this is the ice grey shades. So we do have the first three. This is IG 6, 8 and 9. So let's just go ahead and add these colours in. So a really sort of dark variety here, which is nice. Again, a really nice addition. And just gives us a little bit more kind of variety. So we'll see what that's like when it dries back a little bit, but already I can sort of see the value of that sort of colour there. The other one that I'm really excited about is our burnt orange. So I'm just going to bring that one over here. So I'm going to go BO. So this is made up of BO 1, 2 and 4. So already a nice dark selection here. And we've got that really beautiful kind of really dark sort of orangey reddy kind of colour there, which I think is really beautiful. That's the BO4. So I'm really excited to have this burnt orange one to come back into stock. Like I said, just going to kind of extend from sort of our yellow to our gold yellow, which I do really love using. We've got then our orange and we've got our burnt orange. So they are two more of the TriBlend markers to add to the collection. So very much related to the alcohol marker problem. So this is how I currently store my TriBlend markers. So they are just in this drawer that's part of a plastic sort of tower thing. I did do a tour around my craft room in a previous video, and I just sort of showed you that this is how I store them. It's now there's too many pens in here to actually get this back in the tower itself, and I wanted to take it off my desk just to give myself a little bit more sort of crafting space, but I was finding it really difficult to actually pick out the colours that I wanted. So I bought this sort of slanted pen solution. I do see people in other videos, they have these really lovely sort of little cubbies for their alcohol markers. I just wanted something sort of easy for the moment because I don't really have a large collection, but just something that makes it easier for me to be able to pick out the colours that I wanted. So like I said, this is something I purchased from Amazon. This is the I guess in the company name, so there isn't really any much more information than that. I will pop a link in the description box down below. However, this solution really is kind of only okay. So I thought I was onto a little bit of a winner here until I decided to start putting in my alcohol markers. So if I just leave it like that, you can see that actually only half a pen will fit in. So if this was, you know, if my alcohol markers were only that big, this would be perfect. But unfortunately they aren't. So they do hang out, they're sort of half in, half out. So I will pop a picture on the screen so you can see exactly what it looks like. It's absolutely fine as it is. Like I said, it's inconvenient that obviously the pens are so large that they mainly stick out, but I'm kind of hoping it's going to be far enough away from me where it's not really going to bother me. But the main idea behind this is to then be able to see the colours that I've got and be able to sort of pick them out. It's not the most ideal solution, but it is a better solution than what I do currently have. So yeah, that wasn't very much. I think it was sort of $12.99, like I said, from Amazon. The other thing I do want to mention is it just came free with this little thing. I'm pretty sure this is to hold your phone on your desk, so I'm probably going to keep this on my desk, like I said, yeah, just to have my phone on there. So that was just a really nice little freebie gift that they included. So the next item I bought was this Ranger Clear Stamp Cleaner, and this is a stamp cleaner for acrylic and polymer stamps. So I did find that some of my stamps are becoming really dirty, depends what ink I use with them. So where I use maybe my waterproof ink pads, obviously it's harder to sort of clean that off. So I definitely wanted to invest in a stamp cleaner. This wasn't really that expensive. So there's just two more products that I purchased. So I got this from a website called Holtz. pens. The first one I bought is this Jelly Roll number 8 pen. So I've seen a couple of crafters use this. I do have a white gel pen. This is just a Uniball Signo. It's an okay pen. I don't find that it kind of applies the ink sort of as well. I do find that you get sort of a little bit of a black mark just in the middle, so you can't sort of quite see that, and I find that I have to sort of go over it a couple of times. But then with this Jelly Roll pen, I just noticed that people got much better results sort of the first time around. But yeah, I do think this is just a much better pen. So the other thing I did invest in, or I probably am going to start investing in, is I bought 3 Copic sketch markers. So the reason why I've purchased these, obviously I do have my TriBlend markers. We have obviously talked about TriBlend markers previously. I've got a couple of different kinds of videos as well. And the sort of main issue I have with them is not being able to refill them. So again, I'm sort of finding now that I've got more colours where I'm sort of running out of that lighter colour, and I've been trying to sort of think about how I want to sort of approach the alcohol marker world. Like I said, I do love the TriBlend markers because it's such a great introduction to alcohol markers. You don't have to think about the colours, they blend so well together. But I've watched a couple of videos and I do get obviously the impression that the Copic Sketch are the best sort of alcohol markers out there, so I thought I would give them a try. So a couple of videos that I watched recommended getting them either in sets of 2s or 3. So I didn't want to buy one of those really big packs because they are quite expensive and I'm not 100% sure sort of how I felt about them. So I decided to pick 3 pens in a colour combination that I didn't sort of have too many colours for. So I decided to go with the orange. So obviously previously I only had the orange blend in the TriBlend markers. And obviously you've just seen that I've now purchased that burnt orange colour as well. So that does just kind of increase my sort of orange selection a little bit more. I do find that these aren't too dissimilar from these 2 TriBlend markers. So if I just get a scrap of cardstock. So let's put down, this is the burnt orange. So if we just quickly go light, medium and dark. So let's just try blending those out slightly. So again, like I've said before, I really love these. I just think they're so easy to blend together. Now let's go in with the orange blend. So you can see my orange, and this is another reason why I decided to go with orange, because the orange light colour is really starting to run out. So again, let's just blend these together. So they are my 2 TriBlend markers. So for these I decided to go with YR 4, 7 and 9. I did have a little go colouring with them, and I do really love that brush tip that they've got. I know they do the TriBlend markers with the brush tips now. I mean, because I'm not 100% thrilled with the fact that I can't refill the TriBlend markers, I didn't want to invest in those brush tips as well, and I figured that they would just be the same colour anyway. So I'm just going to go in and blend out these. So I find that the actual colour combination I've gone to, again, isn't too dissimilar from the TriBlend markers, but I do think it just gives a really great addition to that colour family, and like I said then, it's just going to help just to kind of practice with these a little bit more, and potentially if I do sort of really get on with them, to help then start a collection of these Copics. So I'm just going to kind of fill in what I'm missing from my TriBlends with these Copic sketch markers. Like I said, only if I get on with them and I really do see the value in purchasing them. So I'm really excited to start sort of colouring with these Copic sketch markers. Like I said, I've had just a little go with them and I just think they do work really, really well. So that was my craft haul that I wanted to share with you guys today. So I'm really excited with some of the products that I've purchased. I do feel like I'm just upgrading a few items. items, add in a couple of extra important tools into my stash, and again those Copic sketch markers, just a little bit of a treat, and really just to kind of see how I got on with them. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at my latest craft haul. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and happy crafting.